if you look at other countries which have grown rapidly, a bit more rapidly than India, South Korea, Taiwan, China also, again, these are countries that have grown a couple of percentage points more rapidly than India has grown. But urbanization has happened in these countries way faster. In India, Mr. Kant, of course, pointed out a few of the things, but even if you take all that into account, still urbanization seems to be a bit slow. In spite of, a lot of the reforms have happened. We can still, complain about the fact that labor law reform still has not been implemented, etc. Land is expensive and all. But still, a lot of reforms have happened. Why is it that manufacturing in India still, as an aggregate, is still not quite there? Between 2021 and 2040, India would be adding something close to about 150 million individuals in the working age population category 15 to 64. Now, given the shortages that would occur in the rest of the world, clearly this population will be the global working workforce. This, in a way, India will define at least the additions to the global workforce. This is where I think this transition that is happening of the middle class going from 31% to 47%, and the aspirers plus middle class becoming 83%, that's going to be really very critical, because in the end, that is the population from which a lot of the migrants will be drawn. It is extremely important for India to revamp its higher education system, because in the end, to the much of the global workforce, the particular workforce we'll supply would be the more educated workforce. And that has been the pattern, really. Even if you look at the population that goes into Middle East, it's generally the one that has the higher education and all. But certainly when it comes to countries like the United States, Canada, Australia, United Kingdom, we are talking about population with skills, and that, I think, is makes it even more urgent that we reform the higher education system, improve the quality as well as the quantity of education there, because ultimately we are going to be defining the global workforce, certainly the new or addition to the global workforce. There's so many different forms in which inequality can be and is measured that one doesn't know which one is really the important one. You can measure inequality by your usual Gini coefficient, but then the Gini coefficient itself can be calculated for a village, can be calculated for the block, it can be calculated for the district, and you can calculate it for the state, can be calculated for the whole country. Which Gini is relevant here? Whose Gini coefficient? Then you can measure inequality by organized ways versus the unorganized ways. You can measure inequality by the ratio of the top 1% to the bottom 10%, whatever it is. So many different measures. Which inequality really is salient. To my mind, the inequality that people really react to sociologically is the one that defines their own context. It's not just the middle class. All boats are rising. We continue to refuse to accept that. But the truth of the matter is that all boats have been rising. And certainly, the bottom has been rising quite well. If the bottom is still not doing so well, it is because it started at such a low level. I mean, incomes at the bottom level were so low. So that even when you double them, think of today, even when we talk about the farmers, right? When doubling the farmer income. Okay, you double it, but it's still not a comfortable income because the level of it is so low. And this is why I always say that ultimate salvation is going to come from really moving a lot of the farm population into industry and services. That's what we need to do. So, in this sense, again, this is a very good news. that if this, middle class goes up from 31 to 47%, I see that is probably happening because a lot of the farmers are coming into non-farm activities.